Right. He is down 0-1, but has been showing incredible form this entire season, and especially this weekend. From the Netherlands, it is Liquid Ret.
And in the top right, placing a pylon on top of this ramp, we have a player from South Korea, from SK Gaming, it's MC!
Now, Frodan, I know on this map a lot of Prodosses, complain about how uncomfortable it is to hold your natural expansion, but no matter what, whenever I see a Protoss pylon in the main, my instinct is to go, what? Right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the way MC can effectively play off a one-base opening?
Yeah, I mean, I saw him do this once in our Season 3 where he went for a 3-gate expand, very traditional Zealot Sentry, almost as if MC was living in the past 2 years ago, 1 year ago. And MC has now been able to really transition out of that. Even if he does that, he's still able to pressure. It seems that MC doesn't play by standard rules of PvZ.
I like that he's playing in the past, like he put on his bell bottoms and logged on to do some Zealot Sentry defense and listen to the Beatles, which is a really good band, by the way. Whole bunch of Beatles fans. Good, excellent. MC now walling off that front. Interestingly, going for Pylon 2 before gas. It's ordinarily 13 gateway, 14 gas. Pylon 3 at the natural expansion, and Liquid Ret has yet to get to the front and see that there's no expo.
Yeah, I mean, Ret's playing this as if he expected. I mean, Alicia, he played yesterday, went for a Forge Fast Expand anyways, even though it's a little bit more difficult. You have to place that second cannon faster. But MC is just changing things up now, Sean. I mean, what do you think of MC's opening thus far?
Well, he's going to have either a very sharp gas transition, like getting the double gas out and doing something big with it, or he's going to have to go on a relatively low gas play, get extra zealots, throw down an expansion, and then get his geyser number 2. He just can't kind of half and half it. You either have to go all out damage or all out expand at this point in the game. And it looks like Ret started to sniff that something was a little wrong and built a geyser very, very early. So excellent responses by both players.
Yeah, and Ret, of course, just getting one geyser to be saved, gonna get collect enough for that Zergling speed so he can control the map a little bit more. But this is a great read from Ret.
The cattle in the way of the expansion, successfully getting out of the way. I do wish that when you built it, it instead just was enveloped by the hatchery. That would be totally sweet.
And like as a memoir, like the cattle head appears at the top of the hatchery.
Artificial taxidermy. We see SKMC does have that first Zealot hitting the front, but keep in mind the Queens are excellent against Zealots in this kind of situation. Yet again, one of the uses of the range 5 Queen.
Yeah, and MC's following it up with a Stalker, so he's going to put on even more aggression early on, even though Ret has started speed. But MC has 2 Zealots at the natural, and Ret's not prepared.
I mean, the biggest counter to early aggression is creep spread, and by building that early pylon, MC has effectively denied all the possible creep spread. Now we see Queen number 2 starting to head on down the ramp. Both those Queens are going to be essential. They will be the only thing that will keep Ret alive in this situation. Look at this great control by Ret. Ring around the rosy. Welcome to the carnival from the Netherlands.
Pocket full of posies indeed. MC does end up dropping that Nexus anyways, though, even though Ret scouted that pretty delayed. The Stalker does manage to supply block him just for a second, but in the end, both players dealt with that very nicely. MC keeping alive both his probe, or both his Zealots and his probe.
There's the Stalker now heading forward. We do see that the Zergling speed upgrade is nearing completion, and this is again where you have to be very careful to have an effective defense as Protoss. Where are the extra gateways? There's gateways 1 and 2, but there should be a little tiny hole right there. Oh gosh. That's one of those invisible vulnerabilities that you don't quite notice at first. MC will try to do a little bit of poking damage with a Stalker, but keep in mind there is a Queen there.
Oh my god.
It's a Queen.
It's a Queen.
It's a scary ghost.
We joke about that, but so many pro games are afraid of even just one Queen can hold off even the mightiest of Protoss units.
And look at this, Frodan. Not only a Stargate play by MC, but a big flood of Zerglings by Liquid Ret. Stalker will get surrounded. Liquid Ret, target fire. See you later, Stalker. Nice little edge there, and this will put the fear into MC.
Yeah, MC now knows that speed is on the map, but then again, that means he doesn't know what else Ret has planned because he doesn't know how much gas he has. He says, well, how long have you been collecting gas for? So this also throws a little bit of a wrench into things, and these feelings can put on a lot of pressure, and no probe is safe.
Oh! I was like, you put it on the wrong side. It's on the wrong side. He's going to mine just a little bit longer, but fortunately, he'll be able to stay alive. We do have there is a Spore Crawler going down from Red. This is really smart. 7 minutes and 30 seconds is generally the earliest that a player can both expand and get Dark Templar up. He saw only 2 sentries, so that's another indication of, where's this gas going? The answer is into Void Ray. This is already 300 gas dumped right into that Stargate tech.
And the question is, how will MC follow up that Void Ray as well? We've seen MC even go for double, maybe even triple Void Ray, follow with Phoenixes, and just do massive damage to an unprepared
love it so much.
But MC also, I mean, it's just really hard. Sometimes he makes one Void Ray, doesn't make anything else, and completely forces you to overreact while he's putting on gateway pressure.
You know, Fred, I want to ask a little bit about that. I mean, you've got the chance to see a lot of MC's games throughout the NASL season. How often does he end up doing this sort of air play? Because lately Protosses have been saying things like, well, you just can't go air. Queens are too good, and you just get destroyed.
Yeah, I think it's because a lot of Zergs are just more likely to make queens for early defense, but I honestly think it's because MC, even if he's not effective with his early Void Ray and Phoenixes, he still makes them effective. He controls the map, and he makes sure to scout a lot of work Zerg's doing. And what makes MC really effective with this is that he's able to react to what Zerg's is doing. He knows exactly what it is. I got the pleasure of seeing MC practice, and he just understands exactly what Zerg's doing, even if with the slightest piece of information. He has only gone Stargate a couple times, but nonetheless, it's still a very versatile part of his play.
Here is the big vulnerability for Liquid Red. All these Overlords are out in the middle of nowhere. MC is starting to advance forward with his Void Ray Phoenix combo. We'll begin to clean out all these units in the middle of the map. Liquid Red building a lot of extra Spore Crawlers, but keep in mind, MC expanded quite late. He was already one-basing at the opening stage of the game, so this means that this air attack is essentially all MC can humanly afford to do.
And MC loves using Phoenixes as a mid-game enabler and disabler as well, like disabling roaches, disabling infestors, making sure that they can't even engage in the battle and give himself favorable positions. So even if MC doesn't do much, because Red's doing a pretty decent job pulling off thus far, MC will make sure to still be effective, picking up every single Overlord he can afford.
Yeah, I mean, look at that production. Phoenix is still being produced. A 5th one just finished. A 6th one just started. Darting around, and increasingly, this is going to cramp Liquid Red's control. And look at that. Queen steps 2 steps out of bounds, gets lifted up. See you later, Queen. And now the Roach Warren is quite vulnerable. Spore Crawler getting ready to take some damage. Overlords a little bit misrallied. These are the kinds of mistakes you cannot make against a player of MC's caliber. There is the Vomit on that hive to try to get a few extra larvae, and the Spore Crawler does fall. Another Overlord gets taken out, and Liquid Red taking a ton of damage. Look at the resources lost tab.
And this is just going to affect his mid-game production so much just because he's not able to really have that space to make a lot of units, to make a lot of drones. You can see the worker count again favoring MC at the 11.5 minute mark. Very uncharacteristic of Red.
And now it looks like Liquid Red trying to do a little bit of damage by counterattacking the main. So often players stop at 3-4 Phoenixes, not MC. He has made all the way up to 6. And even these small forces of roaches, one lift of the Graviton Beam and he can pick off a roach.
And MC, during this whole time, has just been transitioning already, getting his robotics finished up with his Robo Bay and getting out a couple of mortals just to be able to combat. I mean, MC's been everywhere. He sees his opponent's composition.
With this extra base going down, MC is immediately putting a big amount of pressure on Ret. I mean, traditionally, Zerg is the one who begins putting pressure on around 12 minutes. Haven't really been able to see any from Ret due to just this annoying air harass. Ret does have a decent enough defense that he's sort of slowed it down, but where are the infestors? He has only 2 out at this point in time, and he's just been able to get his geysers up and running at all his expansions. He doesn't have that 4th macro hatch. I mean, what do you think are the next steps that Ret needs to take?
Well, the first thing is that when...
And he didn't get it with the fungal.
Oh, yeah, actually, I didn't even see... Yeah, the infestors are there. They could have dropped the fungal, but... from here, Ret really needs to at least know that MC's taking this third, and when he does, you know that he can't necessarily attack directly. You can take a 4th base. That's actually the criticism with taking 3rd bases really early. That means Zergs could take 4 or 5 bases, tech the hive really quick, and be able to do things. But now MC's the one controlling the map and really controlling the information, so Ret needs to just continue to peek around.
Oh, a nice pickup by Ret. He will manage to swing around into the main base. No! MC warps in with Zealots, walling it off, and again, the warp-in placement from MC perfectly walling off the Zerglings.
See, MC does have first Colossus is about to pop as well, so he's just going to be able to control the ground now. Not only does he only control the air, and MC, I love the small things like keeping his observer also in the middle of the map to be able to control that path in case he needs to defend that third. MC being very nice, just unbreakable from every angle.
Yeah, this is just so rare to see a player one basing into expanding and calmly defending and then taking a third and calmly defending. A lot of players, like I've heard Sase argue before, that if you open up with a one base play, you are kind of committed to doing a very big two base attack. But MC, yet again, trusts in his own analysis.
The MC analysis.
Yeah, he's like, well, I'll just expand because I want to. What are you going to do about it, Zerg? And Zerg's like, oh no, I'm sorry, and just leave the game.
We can see that Red is preparing up his spines as well, sensing that MC does have that weird late game timing where he has a huge ball of units protecting just a few Colossus and able to really destroy the Zerg economy. MC, very nice supply count as well, balancing his army with his probes. MC's always, that's one of the most underrated things. MC manages economy in terms of pro count very well all the time.
Hive now en route. We see that the Corruptors have been produced in an amazingly passive situation that we've seen thus far. Only now are those air units really going to be fairly useless, and this army has one single Colossus, a second one joining in. The timing by Rhett is excellent thus far, and there's the swing forward. Good angle from MC. He's pulling back underneath those force fields, and there we see the corruption. One Colossus is low on health. An incredible fungal on the air units. One Colossus falls.
Oh, and the second Colossus will fall as well. MC now has to back up because he can't necessarily engage all of those units. The Phoenixes didn't really do much to negate it. Rhett holds for now, but Rhett also needs something a little bit more. He doesn't have that strong of a ground army.
And the Void Ray at the south is going to take down this expansion. This is an excellent use of this late game Void Ray, already having 13 kills. Its 14th will be a critical building at a critical time for the Zerg player.
The Queen's like, wait. Trying to hold it off and actually won't get able to get it, but he does transfuse.
And the transfuse will come up again, transfuse, and it looks like third. And
the Phoenixes for the lip. The Corruptors are trying to stall as long as they can.
And it
to the last
falls. What turned into a minor disappointment suddenly began a pretty intense battle over the south, but MC comes out on top yet again.
All for one hatchery, man. The hatchery of Troy. That's what we should call it. That was a history joke.
That was amazing.
We see that MC is cleaning up Zerglings at his natural as well. Rhett trying to slowly trade supply because he does have that Greater Spider about to finish as well. But MC, I feel like even though his attack failed, he got enough. But at the same time, he gave more time to Rhett, even though he took out that hatchery.
Now let's go to that unit counting station and just sort of see where MC is at. He has a largely Stalker army, 34 on the map, pokes up to that top left and takes yet another base. We do see the Stargate allows him to get that over so awesome fleet beacon, so the mothership will no doubt be on the way for MC. He's going to have to sack a couple of units, but he's low on time. 7 Broodlords warping in.
Ooh, he's got 7 Broodlords and a handful of Infestors, and Rhett is looking really strong. He forces to cancel on the 4th, but MC has to be really cautious. His expansions are very linear. It's very tough for him to be everywhere at once. And Rhett, even though he has these Broodlords and he loses more mobility, he still has pretty decent creep spread to constantly bounce between bases.
Oh, this is going to be such a close battle. I mean, honestly, the only thing that Rhett has, or the only thing that MC has is Blink. He actually just finished it a few seconds ago, adding on more gateways in his main base, trying to get that production up all the way so he can replenish 15 Stalkers at a time. And if there's any way that Rhett can take this game at this point, it's going to have to be now. There's all the Blink Stalkers stepping in directly underneath the Broodlords, taking massive hits. MC catches Rhett out of position, but the fungal growths are a little bit too strong, and that Stalker number is dwindling rapidly.
Oh, MC has his Colossus coming on the right side, trying to clean up a lot of the ground army. There's only a few Infestors left. The Sparklers are worked a huge blink forward. MC trying to snatch the remainder of the Broodlords, but will it be enough, Sean?
MC is just incredible at these timing blink forwards, taking down all the remaining Broodlords. And now we see the 3 Colossus force will actually stay at 3. Just 3 hit points left on that one single unit. And now as we go to MC's bank, we see it has just all been burned on another swath of Stalkers. In that unit station, we see only Ling Infestor for Rhett. He is desperately trying to expand down to the bottom right, and MC calmly takes the top left. Man, MC's looking a little bit low on cash himself, Frodan.
Yeah, I mean, he's really burning for gas at this point. He wants something else. He doesn't want to make any Zealots at this point. He really needs to be able to deal with this huge Zerg rematch. You can see Red also trying to starve a little bit for gas as well. He's been limited by that because he hasn't had that 4th base as long. He's just taking his 7th and 8th geysers.
And now we see this Phoenix will hopefully be taken down by these Corruptors. Yes, Red snaps back, takes them out in the production. We do see that there are a couple of Broodlords coming out, only 2. In the unit station, we don't see any finish yet. This enormous Stalker Colossus force, I mean, these Immortals doing huge damage to 18 kills each.
MC now posturing for a lot of position. He wants to protect that force as best as possible. And he's putting on light aggression. If he sees an opening, he could take it, but for now, just sharking around. He has that Observer in a phenomenal spot above the red brushes just to make sure if he ever has to change spots.
Oh, Mothership incoming. Rhett needs some sort of ground answer. He needs something that can pick off the Stalkers that are going to try to blink underneath those Broodlords. The expansion at the top left successfully completes. We see down at how embarrassing. I completely missed it. The expansion at the bottom left was somehow killed by MC. Small counterattack managing to take it down. Meanwhile, at the top side, Rhett is continuing to build this tension. Is he going to be able to get up to 9 Broodlords?
I mean, Rhett at this point isn't that high on the drone count. He's transferring a lot to the bottom right, and he needs to be able to really get that gas high. You can see he's really using every single piece as much as possible. He doesn't have that high of an infestor count either for chain fungals to really deal with this huge ball. And Rhett, at this point, really trying to see if he can poke here at the 4th base, but there's no success in that whatsoever.
It's such a hard spot to be in as Rhett. I mean, you have the infestor Broodlord count that you want. You're going to be able to get up those extra bases, but down in the bottom right, still not being able to mine from gases 7 and 8. I mean, this is the sort of blunder that can just sting so bad long after the game is done. Why didn't I just put guys into that gas? They're finally going down. And if he can get onto the 10 gas Zerg play, that's when he can start tipping the balance back into his favor.
MC finishes up +3 in Storm as well. He does have a few Templar just for the availability of feedbacks as well as storming the massive amount of Zerglings that Red has in case the Stalkers ever get out of position. MC, again, controlling vision very well. Has the Watchtower as well as the Observer being able to catch any movements. And from this point on, just like you said, it's really tough for Red. I mean, at this point, Red needs a lot of time, but he's been given it. MC seems to be turtling a lot.
Man, MC is just building up his forces more and more. I'm most concerned about that 2K in the bank for MC. When MC engages, Red is going to lose a bunch of units and then can instantly warp in, and that's going to be the big issue for Liquid Red at that point. But Red is just slowly spine-crawlering his way forward. The Broodlings amazingly didn't manage to connect with their target.
Oh man, they went so far out.
There's a small siege beginning by Red, but look at this. He's just slowly creep spreading forward.
Oh, he does catch a couple of those Broodlords into Vortex. Also hitting a bunch of the Infestors as well. Instantly melting one.
I don't know if this is the best position for MC. He does get a nice blink under, a nice storm, but we see plenty of Broodlords still littering the center of this engagement. The Mothership falls. We see the Archons pop out to try to do some damage. The Corruptors target fire the Colossi, do some nice damage. There's the blink under, and MC may have critically misblundered in this attack. Rhett is starting to regain the edge.
Oh, the reinforcements and Zerglings are able to really push back the Stalker count. MC does have a couple storms left. He blinks forward, takes out another Broodlord, but more storms really push back the Corruptors.
And that was a decent storm, but MC is running low on those basic Stalker units. He has a lot of money in the bank. This next warp-in round will push Liquid Red back temporarily, but he is replenishing back up to 8 Broodlords. We see there's the other big swell of Stalkers, and there's the blink under, one-shotting those Broodlords. Liquid Red must pull back.
Red trying to transfuse as best as he can, but the Broodlords are way out of position. The last blink cleans up the rest. And of course, Red tries to push it back, and all of a sudden, these bases are so close to each other, just non-stop action back and forth just at the ramp.
This game is topsy-turvy, Frodan. Down in the south position, we see Liquid Red has finished that bottom base, but has not yet begun mining from it, running a little bit low. It is natural. His main is done. His second base a little low as well. And now we see Red starting to step forward into that top left side, where the Mothership is about 80% complete.
And the Mothership will pop from that Nexus as well, so giving MC a stronger anchor into this part of the map. MC also has a horde of Zealots coming on the right side, really wants to snipe this hatchery, a huge source of gas income for Red.
This is also a fairly big mineral investment for MC, which is surprisingly becoming quite important at this phase in the game. How will Liquid Ret answer? It looks like he has yet to move any of his units there. We see Zerglings starting to make their way down to that bottom side, but Liquid Ret is guaranteed to halt the attack in the top left, and this hatchery may very well fall as well.
Yes, a very important snipe indeed for MC.
MC does take down that bottom right hatch, and in the meantime, it looks like he's going to take the opportunity to swing up to this big force of Broodlords, a little bit out of position, but there's still so many units. The Storms do massive damage. The Mothership now pulling back another blink under MC. I thought he was on the verge of losing, but has managed to pull it back into his favor. Where are the Zerglings? Still down at the south side. Liquid Ret is losing all his Broodlords down to just one. Amazing fungals by the Dutch Zerg, but I don't think it's going to be enough, Frodan.
Yeah, he needs a little bit more. MC's been able to really crush everything, even storming the remainder and blinking back. Major style points for MC at this point. Really just taking apart the Zerg army by position. You can see more Zealots also working onto another base in the bottom center for MC.
And a good game. MC. Unbelievable control of that game from start to finish. That was just a Protoss versus Zerg clinic.
And it all started with a gateway expand.
Yeah, I mean, this sort of, not just a standard gateway gas expand, but gateway pylon, zealot pressure, and then expanding after that.
With a hatchery block in between as well. MC playing not by the rules of conventional PvZ. I'm so impressed, as well as just his general army control. And, you know, normally every Protoss is afraid to attack up a ramp against Zerg with spines, with fungals, and spread out Broodlords. Red split his Broodlords so he wouldn't get Vortex. It didn't matter to MC.
And that does mean that MC now has the series at 2-0, and if I'm in Liquid Ret's shoes, I'm going to be feeling very uncomfortable. I finally managed to get my Infestor Broodlord force up. I was putting the pressure on. I got a good engagement, and still MC was able to turn the tides.
Well, we'll find out if Ret is able to turn the tables for game number 3. It is his map choice. Guys, don't go anywhere too far. Game number 3 will be coming up in just a minute. I'm Frodan.
I'm Day 9. Stay tuned. 3rd, 4th place match resumes after this.